seaside.
We always come on the
Oh yeah, we're gonna come all over it.
All
seaside.
over
Rush
it.
straight for A and see what we can do.
Oh, because I know
We
Adam
control
likes to
Charlie.
come all over sea.
We have the lead.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Mr. Flatface, the man of many faces and even more opinions. And I always have an opinion when it comes to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 2022 edition. And what you guys are about to witness is an absolute massacre of my team. I'm talking high 30s deaths, low kills, yet we still win. Why? Because the other team's grinding freaking camos the entire time. But first, Call of Duty. Listen. Okay, come closer. Fix the audio on the helicopters when we land in the game. We are currently using your in-game chat, but the helicopters are so deafeningly loud, you cannot hear anybody talking. For some reason, you and your incompetent team decided that having helicopters that are at plus 200% volume at the beginning of every round was a great way to blow out your players' eardrums before the start of a game. And you can't really do anything to fix it, because if I frick with any of the audio settings, all of a sudden I can't hear people's location, or all of a sudden I can't hear this, or all of a sudden I can't hear it all. So how about you, on your end, you just sit down at your little computer and you type on your little keyboard and you just lower the volume settings on the helicopters when we're spawning in. And for that matter, fix also the border crossing map when we're driving in and all you hear is people going, for 5 minutes. Until we eventually get out of our car and listen to explosions for the next 5 minutes. I don't know how we're this long into the life cycle and they still have not tweaked the settings on the helicopter volume. It is so deafeningly loud that, like, usually now we just say, okay, we're going, and then we just stop talking until the helicopters have left. And sometimes you have to stop again because the enemy helicopter that dropped off their team will fly over you, and it's so deafeningly loud that you can't hear again.
Oh, but Mr. Flatface, it's realism. Go talk beside a helicopter and you'll know.
That's fine. If I go ever stand beside a helicopter, I'll be sure to test this theory. But the fact of the matter is I don't stand beside helicopters, and I don't want to be deafened by one in a video game at the start of every round every 15 minutes. Moving on. If you ever wanted a prime example of a team that is just trying to grind camos, look no further than this game. It will seem somewhat competitive, but it's really not. It's actually incredibly not competitive because they're not trying to hold flags. They're more just trying to keep us spawn trapped on the C side, as you heard at the beginning of the game. We are stuck on C side, they're stuck on their A side, but they want to keep A and B. So they only ever try to really capture that. I think at one point we do spawn flip them, but the mad push that they have to get out of here is insane. 2 guys on their team will finish with 120 kills between the 2 of them, while we sit here with 120 deaths between us. And that's just 2 of them. The rest of them have a lot more.
Oh, but Mr. Flatface, if you actually tried, you'd be able to do this. If you actually just ran out with a riot shield, you did a 360 no-scope, you land on the ground, you crawl forward, and you throw a flashbang at this specific rock, you'll get out of C-spawn easy. I do it all the time.
Shut the fuck up. You don't. Everyone who's ever played this map knows that if you spawn C-side, you will always have a difficult time. You'll leave C-side with 20 plus deaths immediately. If this map was a pie, they have 75% of the map behind a wall, and you get 25% of the map where you have to try to push out. And everything on their side of the map points them in the direction of you trying to leave your side of the map. It's a broken map, and it's such a simple solution to me. I do not know how Call of Duty Activision has not come to the same solution. All they do is they take the spawns, instead of it being north-south, if north and south were A and C, they change it to east-west. So one team spawns at the east side, the other team spawns at the west side, but both teams would then be inside of the fortress. You then move the A flag down to where that truck is on the back side of the map. C flag can stay exactly where it is. And B flag, instead of being between 2 cube vans where everyone camps and it's incredibly hard to take over, move it between the 2 buildings. That way there's an equal opportunity for both sides to fight equally. Because that's the problem with this map, it's not equal. One team spawning with a castle, the other team spawning with a wall to a castle. So no matter what, the one team has to push through the wall into the castle in order to fight the other team. And the other team just has to sit there and wait until it happens, just like a real siege warfare. I don't know if anybody knows this. I've used this joke already once. Castles weren't meant for attacking. They were meant for defending. So the team that spawns in the castle, which always seems to be the other team, they're going to have the easier time because they get to hold the castle. I've been in games where we spawned on the A side and we were screaming at our blueberries, that's a player that isn't part of your party, to stop trying to spawn flip. And we would go out of our way to make sure that they couldn't. We'd flashbang them or whatever, because as soon as you spawn flip, the game changes. Which at this point, this long into the life cycle, everybody knows that. And that's why everyone just holds the doors to the seaside. If you are on the A side, you're going to hold the doors to the C side to make sure nobody can push out because it's just easy free kills. And you're looking at that in this game here. I think what irritates me the most about it is that Call of Duty is doing this whole thing where they're doing this big push. They're building AI robots for the chat thing. They're doing the SBMM thing, and they're doing all this stuff to apparently protect the newer players and make the game more fair, fun, and equal. Yet they have this map where it is so one-sided, it's not even funny. We're gonna win this game, but man, we are freaking pissed by the end of it. We don't even want to play after playing this game. This map right here can easily do that to you. This map is either your best friend or it's your worst enemy. This map will happily feed you with one hand and beat the crap out of you with the other. That's what this map is. Fortress is one of those maps. I've gotten good gameplays when I spawned A side, and I've gotten bad gameplays like this when I spawned C side.
It's a skill issue.
Shut up. It's not a skill issue. There's zero chance that this is a skill issue because, one, I can't control a wall. I can't control a building, and I sure as hell didn't put a castle in the middle of it.
Skill issue.
Shut up. I have to go around a corner in order to see anything. But you know who gets to not go around a corner? The guy sitting in the window overlooking the exit on the right side of the map. Or the guy sitting in the two windows looking at the middle exit on the left side of the map.
Skill issue.
No, it's still not a skill issue because, yes, I could go up and through the middle, and then I can either go out on the balcony or go down to the two doors. But you know who gets to sit there and not have to do that?
The people in the castle.
They don't have to do that. I know it's weird. Instead of them having to move around the map the same way that the seaside does, they get to sit and just overlook two flags without ever having to leave the comfort of a giant walled castle. If you spawn seaside, you are dedicated to dying 20 times before you get to leave that side of the map. Easy. You'll see it in this gameplay. You got snipers overlooking the hallways. You got guys camping the windows upper and lower. You got guys sitting inside the cube vans. You got just the worst possible outcome to a situation to have in this game. There is so little that Seaside gets to do to challenge the team that it's not even funny, to be honest with you. No matter what Seaside has to do, they have to creep around a corner, and it's a blind corner, which then allows them to get shot without any knowledge to where the player is.
Yeah, but once you die, you know where the player is.
Great. It still doesn't fix the issue of the Seaside having blind corners. No matter what Seaside does, they have to push in, and they have to jump around a corner where that player may have moved or tried to shuffle over, or hell, just the simple fact that they don't have to do anything, and they have to just ADS and look at a doorway. Because yes, to leave Seaside, it's actually 3 doorways. That's it. You get 3 doors. You're either coming out the middle doors, the side doors, and that's it. I don't know how, after all this time, Call of Duty has not looked at their metadata on these maps and started making tweaks. They fixed Farmhouse 18 and the fact that there was a roof that people could just camp on, which in all reality wasn't that big of a deal. If you were a good player, you could easily take care of them with a well-timed syntax, or even an RPG sometimes did the trick. And a good player could always get the drop on the person on the roof on Farmhouse 18. But they went ahead and they fixed the gap, and then now A side can shoot the C side and kill each other on the roofs. A much needed change, yes, I agree with it. But how have they looked at this fortress and not said, the metadata says that the team that spawns C side loses more often than not. The metadata also shows that the team that spawns A side gets more kills by a landslide than the team that spawns C side. What can we do to fix this? I don't know what's going on over there at Call of Duty Activision. Maybe they're just working on too many skins for the store, but it really seems like they're neglecting basic balancing issues. Now, I play tier 1, so every gun's not balanced properly, but I know and I follow the core scene, and those people over there at core have just the most broken meta guns right now. And as I said, the Chimera is already broken. Who would have thought that would have been the case? Oh, just every single person that knew that every time a gun gets added to the game, it's broken, so then people want to go to the store to buy it if they don't have multiplayer. Because remember, you can buy the Chimera or you can earn it through a free raid. But if you're not doing the raids, then you're just going to go buy it so you have it. Why? Because it's broken. Now, it is the holidays time, so maybe they're slowing down. They're like, oh, we're going to have a break. We're going to go home and have Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, which they're entitled to. But when they get back, they need to really sit down and look at the metadata of their game. You know that they're following it to make tweaks to the SBMM algorithm. You know Greg, the monster's in the background. He's also getting his tune-up so that he can come in here and alter your games and your matches. I firmly believe that Ricochet is dead. The amount of TikTok hackers that I see when I'm just scrolling through TikTok on looking at the gaming channel stuff is insane. Like, they're legitimately hacking. It's not those guys that are pretending to hack where they got the like default blocks just rolling around on the screen and you'll see one that's clearly in the sky walking, and they're not actually hacking. That's just an overlay. No, I'm talking the ones that are trying to sell you a cheat software, and it's right there. It's like, follow me, link in bio for 10% off of Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 XX420 cheats. Those guys, like, they're just blatantly hacking, and it's just at the point where Ricochet just needs to be put down. Stop letting the injured dog walk. Let it rest permanently. At this point, SBMM should be at such a high skill level that they'll just force hackers into the same lobby, and the hackers just verse hackers the entire time.
Oh, but they already did that, Mr. Flatface.
Oh, make it more strict so that's all they ever face. Don't make a good player every once in a while go into a hacker lobby just so they get crapped on. I've never understood that part of it. Hey, player, you have to understand that once in a while you're going to get into a hacker lobby and you're going to have to deal with it. It's just part of the process. Why? Why would I have to go verse hackers if I'm not hacking? Just so your system, Ricochet, can figure out if they're hacking or not. Why do I have to every once in a while have a crappy game with a hacker? So then your system can go, hey, I've learned something, and then they can ban them. It makes no sense. All I know is what they need to do is sit down and relook at these maps, revamp some of them. The simple fixes to this map, Fortress, would be to, one, either make the spawns east-west, or just open up some of the doors that are blocked off. All around this map, there's these doors that are gated off. I don't see how it would be too much of an issue just to allow another path for sea people to get out of. A path with more cover. I'm sorry, a statue that's in the middle that has sightlines all around it is not cover for seaside. A balcony with windows facing right at it that we have to push out of a door room to is not cover. Every angle that seaside has to try to escape into the actual game is completely covered by the A-side map. You basically have two maps here. You got the seaside map, which is this tiny little open room area, which would be perfect for like a free-for-all fun game mode. Then you have the castle mode map, which would be great for a TDM. But together, they make this terrible abomination of a map. Fortress is such a hit or miss, and it strictly depends on whether you spawn A-side or C-side. If you spawn A-side, this map's great. If you spawn B-side, this map sucks. Anyways, I've been your host, Mr. Flatface, a man of many faces and more opinions, and I always have an opinion when it comes to Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 2022 edition. My opinion is that the maps need to be balanced. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Bye. Happy New Year's!